Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Religious, spiritual people are more miserable than ordinary people. Because they want something. So, there are beggars outside the temple and there are beggars inside the temple. Constantly, I want this, I want that. And as a result, we are unable to focus our attention on our own experiences. This was the great thing of Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. See? This book that is released by Ramaswamy Maharaj, Knowing is Being. So when I sent this title to the publisher, he said, Swamiji, your books are very peculiar. What is knowing is being? You cannot know without being. When knowing and being is one, then only the truth is revealed. See, it is something like that. What is our normal experience? This is a mic. Knowing, this is a mic, known. But do I have that experience, I am the mic? Imagine what a fun it will be. I know this is a donkey and I am a donkey. This doesn't happen. So that knowledge, that experience, where knowing is not being, falls in the purview of samsara. But when I know myself, so I know myself by being me. See, basics. In Taittiriya Upanishad, the mantra is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyomanna Soshnute Sarvan Kaman Saha Brahmana Vipaschiteti. This is the mantra. In between I quote some mantras just to impress upon you. I know you will not understand this, but even then I say, oh, Swamiji knows. So, on this mantra, Bhagavan Shankaracharya has written the biggest commentary. And the conclusion of the commentary is Sat Chit Ananda. Our Maharaj's, Swamiji's name, Swami Satchidananda. Sat and Chit. Sat is existence, Chit is knowledge. If Sat and Chit, if knowing is not being, if existence is not knowledge, what does it mean? Sat is not knowledge, therefore it is jad, it is inert. And if the knowledge is not existence, that means it is non-existent. So it has to be knowing and being is one. See? And when this is to be experienced, then we are really walking the spiritual path. Otherwise, all our life goes only seeking something. I want this, I want that, I want this. There is no end to it. See? Our Kathopanishad tells, Yada sarve pramuchante kama yasya vridishritaha atha martyaha amrito bhavati atra brahma samashmite. When all our desires are zeroed completely and fully, you are one with the truth. What is keeping us away from our real nature is this barrier of desire. And therefore, the only way is, what I have understood is this. All the spiritual practice is learning from our own experiences of life. He who cannot learn from one's own experiences, he cannot be taught even by Brahmaji, Vishnuji, Lord Shiva, and all of them coming together, they cannot teach. Because he is not ready to learn. See, a person who wants to learn swimming, so he will go to the pool with the teacher. The teacher will push him into the water. No, you teach me. What can he teach you? You have to learn. Exactly the same way, we have to take this stand in our life. We have to learn. Ignorant people are those who do not learn from their own experiences. I am using a decent word, ignorant people. What I mean, according to Bhagavad Gita, mood. Mood means those who are working on mood. No wisdom in a foolish manner. So ignorant people don't learn even from their own experiences. One example, you are all grastas, so I will give you examples which will suit you. We are at the same time parents as well as children, is it not? Two in one. With reference to your parents, you are a child. With reference to your children, you are parents. So be attentive. Do we have a choice to choose our parents? No choice. Similarly, we do not have a choice what children we will have. So as we don't expect any change in our parents, I wish my mother is like Vaijanti Mala. No. See? No. Because you have no choice. Apply the same principle to your children. But then we start expecting, my son should be like that, my daughter should be like that, they should obey me, they should not obey me, blah, 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 and then suffer. Nobody can help us in life. Desire doesn't mean only I want a car and I want a house and I want this. That is not only desire. Desire means anything that we expect from anything or being, that expectation is the desire. Don't expect anything from anybody, you are happiest. Like in one of the airports, one gentleman asked me this question. Swamiji, you people go on giving lectures throughout the world here and there, but the people don't change. Don't you feel bad about it? You keep on talking, but they are the same rut. They don't change. Don't you feel bad? I said, I am not a fool to feel bad. Why? I said, I don't want them to change. If they all become wise, where will I go? I will become otherwise. So I pray to the Lord, oh Lord, let them be foolish and suffer, so my market is maintained in spite of Corona. See, friends, these are the simple things of spiritual life. Some of you might have heard my Maha Mantra, the happy Maha Mantra. Have you all heard? I'll play that mantra and listen with all sincerity, intensely. And then we will enter what our Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi has to tell. It's a very simple mantra. It is a mixture of English and Hindi. Mantra need not be only in Sanskrit. Samprapte sannihite kale nahi nahi rakshati dukrum karne. We have this funny notion. If something is said in Sanskrit, it is good. If something is said in English, it is bad. See? It doesn't matter what spoon it is, whether it is a golden spoon or a plastic spoon. What matters is what it is carrying. That is important. You don't eat the spoon. Exactly the same way, this happy mantra, each and every mantra in that, it is a kind of a mala, mantra mala, a garland of mantras. listen with all sincerity, then we will enter what is the meaning of knowing is being. This is the philosophy with which Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi was living. Life is a time pass. What is the meaning of time pass? An example will make it clear. When I had to go to people's home for taking food, that is one of my professional requirement. So I go there. And whenever you go, you never get the food on time. So they say, Swamiji, wait for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour. No, I am a Swami, I had no choice, choiceless existence. Okay, never mind, take your own time. And in one such house, I took one newspaper. They had a son, about 7-8 years. He says, Swamiji, no newspaper. I said, all right, take it back. Let us play carrom. I said, I don't know that dumb game. No, I'll teach you. And he got the board and everything and started playing. Now he was expert in that. But I know nothing about that. So when my turn came, I said, I am also a Pakka Guru Ka Chela. Then I asked him, whose picture is that? So when he looked at it, I take 2 of them and put here. In this, my guru is all politicians. You know what I learned from our politicians? Corruption is a crime if it is proved. Similarly, theft is a crime if it is proved. So first it was okay, second, third time I was caught. And then he started crying. Mummy, Swamiji is a cheat. I said, come on, now I will not do that, okay? I'll sincerely play. And again we started. And by the time we could play for another 2-3 minutes, his mother says, Swamiji, food is ready. I said, come on, let's throw it away. Go and eat food. He said, no, now you have to play. I had to win. Now be attentive. For the child, winning or defeat was an issue. For me, that game was a time pass till the food is ready. Life is a time pass. Don't struggle to win. Don't be miserable to lose. And this is possible only when this I factor is taken care of. You all know max factor, isn't it? Worse than the max factor is the I factor. The whole life is only the struggle. See? There was one international yoga conference 2-3 years before. Whenever it is there, I always address that. This year also it is there. So in one of my talks, I mentioned them. I said, you yogis are struggling for Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Why are you fighting with that poor mind? Then what to do? I said, let the thoughts come, who cares? The Hindi is, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? Who cares? Thoughts come, let them come. Why fight? No fight with the mind. Instead of that, find out to whom the thoughts come. Then you will come to know one day, thoughts come to somebody. Nobody has no thoughts. Somebody will have some thoughts. So our struggle is controlling the mind. As a husband, I sit for meditation. When you are sitting as a husband for meditation, your Ishta Devata is Belan Devi, one goddess with a spoon in the hand. She will stand in front of you, your wife. The moment you become a husband, you cannot but think about wife. The moment you become a father, you cannot but think about your kids. The moment you become a boss, nothing but think about the subordinates. But when you remain nobody, no thoughts. Why struggle? So Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi used to say, don't fight with the Prakriti. Prakriti is that where Vikruti is natural. Now tell me, we all elderly people have this funny notion, always condemning the youngsters. These days, the youngsters don't respect the elders. Now tell me, what is our contribution in growing our age? What we have done? It is the poor earth running around the sun, and our age is growing. And what arrogance of the age. See, friends, the more we contemplate in the line of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, every experience becomes our guru. Therefore, when we say life is a time pass, don't become serious in life. Another funny thing about spiritual practice, many of us have got too many do's and don'ts. Some of them observe maunam. See, one person told me this thing, Swamiji, how did Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi observe maun for 18 years? I said, who told you he observed maunam? Did he tell you? No, everybody says. I said, that doesn't mean it is right. Majority is only for the fools. Wisdom doesn't depend on majority. See? Then I said, look here. He had nothing to talk, to nobody to talk, because he was nobody. This is Ramana Maharshi. You are not observing Mauna. Let the thoughts come and go. Let the sounds be heard. No impact. Therefore, Dakshinamurti Stotra, Dhyana Shlokas, Maunam Vyakhya, Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam. The truth is revealed in the eloquence of silence. See, my friends. Therefore, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's approach is this. Don't fight with the Prakriti. The world has always been like this. Therefore, our online lectures, Vivek is doing everything. I only talk. So on the title that we have given, Corona Festival. Life is a celebration. Don't calibrate. What is the celebration? Diwali is a celebration, is it not? So celebration is for everybody. It is not, I have got Diwali, I don't have Diwali. No, everybody. So our Corona Maya, Mother Corona, was for the whole world. So it is a gala, great celebration. Therefore it is a festival. In festival, everybody is involved with a mouth closed. In ordinary festivals, we make noise. This is the extraordinary festival. Our mouths are shut. Silent celebration. Don't take life too seriously. There is nothing new that has ever happened in this world. Till date, not a single event is unique. Everything has happened millions of times. Our scripture says, Yatha Purvam Akalpayat. The creation is not for the first time. Yatha Purvam, as it was earlier. So, our parents got married. When they had no children, they suffered. Then they did puja poti. Then they have children. Now they are also suffering. The same thing he will do. What is new in that? See? Then you come to know people suffer because of two things: suffering of having, suffering of not having. Those who don't have money, they suffer. Those who have money, they also suffer. Those who have children, they suffer. Those who don't have children, they suffer. See, friends, the day you start learning from every experience of your life, we are following the path of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Now, what did Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi learn? So he has changed his complete life. See, when somebody died in their family, he was that time a young child, class 8, 9, something like that. And he saw that the person died and his body was taken out and all that, people were crying. He started thinking, what is exactly death? What is the meaning of death? So he didn't go and ask anybody. Like people ask us, Swamiji, what happens after death? I said, I have no experience. No, your name is Anubhavananda. So Anubhavam is experience. I said, look here. When you are alive, has anything happened? So when you are alive, nothing has happened. After death also nothing will happen. All the time about that. Therefore, one important principle I tell you, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's principle. Don't ask questions. The highest spiritual practice. That is the reason I don't entertain question and answer sessions. A simple rule that about which you have no question that you are. Now, about what we have no question? We have no question whether I am or I am not. So, I am, I know. Am, existence. So, knowing is being, that's it. What more to ask? See, every question takes us away from our own self. Like eyes can see everything which is away from the eyes. Eyes cannot see themselves. Whatever educated, intelligent we may be, try to see your own eyes. You cannot. In the same manner, we can know others. We cannot know ourselves. We can be ourselves. And that we know, that I am. So Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, when he saw somebody died, instead of asking question, what happens, why did he die, all kind of crying and all that. See? Friends, people don't suffer because of death. People suffer because of fear of death. Our death is the only karma that we do because of which others suffer. Karma phala doesn't come to us. Suppose I die here, right now. You will have a problem. He has to die here only. I will relax. See, friends, we suffer never because of death. We suffer because of fear of death. And therefore we keep on asking, after death, where the soul goes? See, like for every shoe, there is a separate soul. In the same manner, for every body, there is a separate soul. See, friends, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's approach, I tell you, very simple words I am putting. All complicated things I have given here. Read that. If you have shoes on your foot, you have covered the whole earth with leather. Is it not? You don't have to cover the earth with leather. Cover only your feet, that's it. Focus attention on yourself. Don't worry about the world. If you are happy, the world is beautiful. If you are miserable, the world is horrible. If you are happy, you are creative. If you are miserable, you are destructive. See, friends, come back to yourself. That is what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi's approach. But we want to go and cover the whole earth with some kind of covering, leather, hide, skin, so that people's feet should not be disturbed. You are wasting your time and energy. Put on your shoes and move around the world. Take care of yourself. If we can mind our mind, we have learnt everything in spiritual practice. And this is what was the approach of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. So he did not ask, after seeing the death in the family, he straight away went to his room and he started wanting to know exactly what is the meaning of death. What happens when death happens? So he lied down and then he started, be attentive, he started playing death. Therefore, those who have heard or read my books, I have mentioned very clearly, never do meditation. I am against meditation. Play, meditation, play. See, if you do meditation, so half an hour of meditation, rest of the day frustration. Don't do meditation. Play meditation. See, this is what Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi did. He was playing death. Don't our children play home? Their brother and sister, they become husband and wife. Do they really become? They are just playing. Exactly. When you start playing meditation, you do not become meditator. And therefore, you are not anybody. You are only playing. See, Panchadashi says, Dhyatru dhyane parityajya deyamevavashishyate. When the meditator and meditation disappears, what remains is the truth. See, friends. So Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi started playing meditation. He started playing death. So when he lied down, he started playing. Suppose the body dies, what happens? So he just kept quiet. And then slowly, he was so intensely playing that game of death that his body became like wood. And then he said, come on, nothing happened to me, I am just saying. Then he discovered, I have to be someone other than the body. Then his investigation began. This is the purpose of karma kanda, upasana, last life, this life, hell, heaven, punya, papam. This is the purpose. It is not to prove that the last life, this life, next life is real. We are all expert in blaming others for our miseries. See? And then we go to the Mahatmas. One person came to me and asked me, Swamiji, don't make fun of me and don't tell my example to anybody. I said, all right. You know, I quote examples because I don't read books. The whole world is my book. Learn from everybody. So one husband came and he said, Swamiji, other people's wives are so good. Why my wife is so terrible? I said, this is a universal question. It is not only for you. No, don't make fun, please tell me. I said, look here. Now be attentive. When somebody comes to us, should we make their life miserable or should we make them come out of the misery? Naturally the second one. So what we do? We say, look here. And such dumb people immediately accept it. Look here. In the last life, you have tortured her. And therefore, at the time of her death, in the last life, she has prayed to the Lord, oh Lord, next life also give me the same husband. I will take the revenge. And the prayer was heard by God. Therefore, in this life, she is your wife again. Therefore, the ladies do lot of puja. Let me get the same husband so I can torture you. But now I don't remember anything. You may not remember. Divine computer never fails. Then what should I do? First, stop blaming her. You have tortured, therefore she is taking revenge. But now what can I do? Now behave properly with her. Otherwise, next life again she will be your wife. No. I don't want to play. Fool. Enough is enough. See, now what has happened? He has stopped blaming her for his miseries. And he has started behaving properly with her. Life is at peace. See? But what is the purpose of this statement? Before this body was born, I was in some other body. After this body dies and burnt away, I will be in another body. Therefore, where did I die? That is the purpose. But these karma-kandi people, they don't understand this. All the time talking about Papa Punya, going to hell, going to heaven. See? You don't go anywhere. Everything comes to you. See, my friends. And once we are clear about this, that the embodied is someone other than the body. Like we go to somebody's house. In probably Goa, I went to my friend's house, Gupta's. So I knocked the door, the maid servant came. I said, Guptaji is there? No, he is not there. Okay, I'll come later. When I was going away, she said, no, please stop. Why? Guptaji may not be there, but the furniture is there, the fans are there, the walls are there. Am I going to see the furniture there or what? In the same manner, I am not talking to you as the body. I am not talking to you as the ears. I am talking to the embodied. Our body never suffers. It is the embodied. Embodied is the mind. The mind suffers. See, how I learned this? This thing cannot be learned from books. Once it happened to my right toe. Something was growing like a red growth, small, like some kind of funny growth, strawberry type. And one person did namaskar and he said, Swamiji, what is this happening to your toe? I said, this is the wisdom toe growing. He said, you have got jokes for that, but this is serious thing. You should take care of it. I said, okay, I'll take care. No, you have to remove it. I said, okay, I'll remove it. No, I am a doctor, I can do it. I said, come. I went with him. Put my leg on the stool, sitting in a chair. He gave local anesthesia After 15 minutes, then he knocked, do you feel? I said, yes, I feel emotional. He said, no, 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 here. I said, there is no feeling. Then he said, you can watch the operation. So he took the scalpel, straight away cut next to that growth and put the scalpel deep and removed it like we take out the ice cream by scoop. And he said, I am so happy, everything has come out. And I was watching. He has cut, the blood was oozing out. After that was removed, then he started stitching. No pain. I thought, I am a great yogi. I have transcended body identification. I was so happy. After 1 hour, oh God! Because during that local anesthesia, my toe was in meditation. The mind was not allowed to enter that area. But the moment the curfew was lifted, mind entered and all the pain started. My dear friends, tell me, where is life happening to the body? We have to learn this. Therefore, we have to mind our mind. Then you will come to know who is miserable. Body is never miserable. This somebody is miserable. Mother, father, grandfather, grandson, they are miserable. See, this is what Bhagwan Ravana Maharshi, he was playing death. And when his body was almost hard, as if rigor mortis has set in, and he came to know, come on, I am still there, nothing happened to me. Then he said, enough is enough. He left home and started finding out, who is this one? Who is this I? We are a crowd inside a poultry farm. I am man, gender. I am old age. I am Indian, citizenship. I am married, unfortunate one. See? I am father, I am mother, I am sister. How many of us inside? And whenever there is a crowd, there cannot be peace. See? We have to learn from our experiences. See, one of mantras which I gave was do not talk to yourself. Isn't it simple? Chittavritti Nirodha. Don't talk to yourself. Second thing, before we talk to others on any topic, ask a question to yourself. Is it necessary to talk? Try these two things. You will learn how to work through the mind without getting influenced by the modifications of the mind. Now, further analysis. When we talk to others, we talk about our past. I was there, I was here, I have done this thing, I have done that thing, blah, 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 blah. But we don't understand. Nobody is interested in our past. People are concerned about their future. But only like me, what can I talk? Only my past. See, So when we talk to others, we talk about our past or we ask about their past. And when we talk to ourselves, we talk about the future. So after the lecture is over, I have to go there and cook the food and blah blah blah. Work on this. This is what Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi learned. He had no guru. You are your own guru. If we learn from our experiences. See, friends. Otherwise, constantly worried. Learn. Then he started working. What exactly this, whatever it is, who is this? Who is watching the body's death, but still there? I'll tell you till deeper, be very attentive. Try to talk to yourself without using a single word. Can you talk? Simply complaining the mind is disturbed is not the solution. We have to learn. Unmanifest, formless is mind. Manifest with forms are words. Colorless, formless is the vision. Colors and forms are different. Mind itself is the speech. How much energy we waste in talking? No need. If we don't have anybody to talk, we are self-sufficient. Our mind's condition, once I was going somewhere in North India, there was a very heavy slope. And one truck heavily loaded was going slowly, but making lot of noise. So when I was going with my friend, I did namaskar to that truck. I said, "Truck Bhagwan, namaskar." My friend said, "Swamiji, you are very peculiar. What truck Bhagwan? How can the truck be God?" I said, "He has taught me a lesson." What lesson? Like the truck cannot go up, but struggles exactly the same way. We are constantly non-stop. Stop talking to yourself. When you thus learn from your own experiences, we are following Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi. See, my friends. And therefore, his approach was very simple and straight. Like just now, Ramaswamy uncle was telling that Maharajji was there when his Ramana Maharshi's hand operation was done. He did not take any local or general anesthesia. He said, "Cut, doesn't matter." He had no doubt. It is the body that is being cut, nothing happens to me. As it was happening to me when they cut my toe. See, but mine was realization temporary. It was a chemical realization. But his was a real one. See, friends, therefore, first step, according to Ramana Maharshi, is we have to accept distinctly from our own experiences that the embodied is different from the body. And who is suffering is not the body. Body doesn't feel cold, the mind feels cold. See, ears don't hear, the mind through the ears is hearing. My glasses are not seeing, the eyes behind the glasses are seeing. My eyes are not seeing, the mind behind the eyes are seeing. When we thus become extremely aware, see, friends, life becomes very simple, without much difficulty. We continue to lead our life cheerfully and happily, without much problem. And this is why Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi is the most wonderful Mahatma as regard I am concerned. I was telling him many years before, somebody told me, you go to some place in Andhra, Sri Shailam, where there is Mallikarjuna, one of the 12 Jyotirlingas. And there was one great Mahatma, Yogi Maharaj, Swami Purnananda. So I went, and he was having some problem. So we went and sat there, took darshan. He didn't talk anything. Then the person came, he said, now you all go, darshan is over. So we came out. Then a message came. Maharaj has asked, you finish your food here in the ashram and come and meet me. I was very happy for food. Then I went to him. He was sitting in a jhula kind of thing. I sat on the floor, and then he was playing with my beard, with my head, and continuously, as if the eyes were leaking. No, nothing, I don't know what was happening. Then after 10-15 minutes, I said, Swamiji, what next? He clearly told me, you will go to Ramana Maharshi. See? That became so simple. And what is Ramana Maharshi? You are Ramana Maharshi. If you start learning from your own experiences, Bhagwan Ramana Maharshi learned from his own experiences. See, normally what happens, when we go through experiences, we comment. These days, it's too bad. Corona, see how terrible the pandemic is there. Now if you are studious, pandemic comes every 100 years. In 1898 to 1910, there was a terrible pandemic in the world. It is a cycle, 100 years. Floods come, rains come, it is happening. What is great about it? But that becomes the major theme. Wars, terrorism. See? Now, how many people are killed because of terrorism? And how many people were killed by Hitler? Are they even comparable? But then we ask question to people like us, Swamiji, why the world is so horrible? Then I am equal questions. Okay, I will ask you a question and then we will sort out your problem. Why the world is so horrible? Okay. Do you think earlier the world was not horrible? I don't think. It would be worse than today. Very good. Do you think the world will not be horrible afterwards? What more can be worse than today? I said, very good. Earlier you were there? No. Later you will be there? No. Now the world is horrible because you are there. Change, Maharaj. It is the same world, it is the same time scale, it is the same political turmoil, it is the same economic crunches, same. And the same world, great Mahatmas like Maharaj Ji, Swami Siddhananda Ji, Shivananda Ji, they are not born in a bonsai type protected environment. No. This has always been like this. There is nothing to worry about it. We have to focus our attention on our own being. That is what is the spiritual life. And it begins from this. Who is this I? In one college, after my talk, one student got up and asked this question. Swamiji, a question. I said, all right. Who am I? I said, should I tell you the truth or bluff? He said, for a change, tell the truth. Then I told him, you are a fool of the highest order. He said, do you think Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi was a fool? Because he used to ask this question, who am I? I said, he didn't ask me. I am replying you. Who am I? Question is possible only if you have accepted theoretically that you are someone other than the body. Now, do we have a question? Who are you? I am husband, I am wife, I am mother, I am father, I am grandfather, I am grandson, I am Indian, I am non-Indian, I am rich, I am poor, I am healthy, I am unhealthy. Where is the question? Who am I is not only a mechanical statement of Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. Unless we accept it theoretically, if I cannot be the body, then who am I? Work on it. Then we are following Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi. And as he was going through his life, he happened to scribble in his mother tongue, Tamil, various experiences in the Tamil poetic form. I don't know what it is. And they were randomly written. See, when wisdom breaks open, it opens as poetry. You see the writings of Bhagavan Shankaracharya, writings of Vedavyasa, writings of Valmiki Maharshi. See, it is an experience that flows. It is not a struggle, okay, what to write. It flows. See, Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi also composed quite good number of stanzas. And when he took to study something, particularly he studied Shiva Rahasya. And then every time he used to be so happy. What was said in the scriptures, he said, exactly this is my experience. In Narad Bhakti Sutra, there is a sutra. Sat Shastri Kurvanti Shastrani, Kirthi Kurvanti Tirthani. The scriptures are authenticated by the statements of such great masters. We only read, we have no experience. See? So all those jottings that he had, they were in Tamil. So only limited people can understand and read. So he is one of his followers, Gadapati Muni Maharaj. He was a great scholar, both Tamil and Sanskrit. And then he has collected them and organized them in a proper way and converted them from Tamil to Sanskrit. And this is how that Saddarshan has come to us. So these are his experiences. He is not from books. Like we talk, Bhagavan Krishna said like that. What do you have to say? Khana do, give food. See friends, words of experience are different from the jottings here and there. This is how the book Saddarshana has come to us. In the first two verses, there is invocation of the Lord. This is done by Ganapati Muni. Sat pratyaya kimnu vihaya santam ruddesha chinta rahito hrudakyaha katham smaramastamamekam tasya smrutir tasya drudaiva nishtha. Here, the first statement. Sat pratyaya kimnu vihaya santam. Can there be an experience of I without the presence? Each and every statement is very deep. See, this mouse doesn't know it is called as mouse. See, this camera doesn't know whether it is a satsanga or a disco or a discourse. Sat pratyaya sannu vihaya santam. Without this notion of I, the existence cannot be proved. And without the existence, the notion of I cannot be established. See? And this I is non-specific. Therefore, if you go a little bit in grammar, singular of third person is he, she or it. So third person singular. Third person plural will be what? They. So he, she, it, they continue to be the third person. You, thou, second person. You, all, second person. So there is a plural of third person singular, second person singular. But there is no plural of first person singular. What is the first person singular? I. What is the plural of I? We. Includes everything. Because I is one. And therefore, I is always written capital I. Forget about iPhone and useless things. But we don't like capital I. We like small I. iPhone, iPad. See? And poor husband, father, I paid. See? Therefore, this I is one without a second. If there is no I, there is no you. See, this is the game of these three persons. I, first person singular, talk to you, second person singular, to about him, the third person. See, if I is not there, you have no existence. And if I and you, third person has no existence. So these two persons are based on the I, the first person. Therefore, Sat pratyaya kim nuvhaya santam. Without the Sat, the reality, the truth, the existence, there cannot be the experience of I. And without the experience of I, nothing can be proved. So this is the I which is one common. It is not one I per head. A very deep thought, be attentive. See, I am man is limited to me. To this girl, she will not call I am man. I am a woman. See, then I am father, I am mother, limited. But I is a common factor. Whether man, woman, young, old, intelligent, not intelligent, rich, poor, is a common factor. Therefore, there is one common existence which is expressing through all as I. Now, this example I have quoted 100 times. At least one day it will click. Man is a common factor. With the conditioning of his father, the man is called as a son. The same man is called husband with the conditioning of his wife. The same man is called as the father with the conditioning of his son. Has he become three? Without the man, the three cannot exist. But if the three are not there, it makes no difference to the man. Thank God. See, without this absolute existence, the man is non-specific existence. Son is a specific conditioned expression. And when the father dies, what happens to the son? Nothing happens. Because without father, he cannot be a son. When the wife disappears, what happens to the husband? Nothing happens to him. Because without the wife, he cannot be husband. Think. And who are miserable? These non-existing entities are miserable. Another learning. One of the girl in Mumbai, she came to talk to me on some problem in her house. There was some puja and her mother told, you go away, you cannot stay for this puja, come afterwards. Because she was a divorcee. So she came to me. Swamiji, please tell my mother. I said, what to tell? She said, there is some function. In that function, only married girls can remain. But I am divorced, you know. I said, yes, I know. But then she said, you cannot come. Why so? After divorce, the girl becomes widow or what? Who is a widow? Whose husband died. But after divorce, nobody dies. But she is not a married woman. Then where the husband has gone? He can go somewhere if he is. Think. Mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, in-laws, outlaws, grandchildren, grandfather, they have no existence whatsoever. But these non-existing entities, they become miserable. How can you help somebody who doesn't exist? See, we do help. One husband came and asked, Swamiji, I am so miserable. I said, what is the problem? Wife, I said, first of all, you answer my questions. Yes. Husband is a common noun or a proper noun? I am a student of grammar. Of course, husband is a common noun. Any fool getting married to another fool is called as husband, is it not? Do you require any qualification to become husband? No. So, husband is a common noun. Therefore, every husband is miserable. What is new about it? You are not the only miserable husband. Even Bhagavan Rama became miserable. See, friends, we all miserable, those who do not exist. Because our attention is not on this. Who am I? This was the approach Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, Sat Prataya Kim Nu Vihaya Santam Hriddesha Chinta Rahito Hridakyaha. Now, what is that truth? What it is called? Where do we experience? Is the topic in the same verse that we will see in our tomorrow's class. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.